All right, so part of this process is cutting down these axles. So I'm going to start draining the fluid before I got to leave to go back to work, so that way it'll drip out, and then I can remove the axles. So let's do that. Break it with the ratchet. There we go. Oh yeah, she needed to be changed out anyway. Look at that fluid. And I can smell it too, man. That is not good stuff right there. Alright, so we got the axles out, and Bill's going to put the micrometer on it and take it to the machine shop, and we're going to cut down the center here so it still holds the drum in that little, you know, 1/4 inch thickness that it has. It'll come out to about right there where that first line is, and then the machinist is going to mill down the, cut down the outside here to fit inside the wheel, so it'll be hub centric. We removed the axles, we sent them off to the machine shop, and now they're back, so check them out. Come in here into my mess. Anyway, so here are the axles. You can see how we had it machined down, so the drum still fits on it. It still has that little 1/8 inch or whatever, 3/16 of an edge there, and then we just had him cut the center there down just a bit so it'll fit inside the American racing wheels. And I don't have the studs put back in them yet. You got to remove the studs after, so the guy could cut them down. But there you go. They fit nice and tight. There's no gap in between it. The lug nuts will work on this. I won't need a spacer, and it'll be hub centric because now this center part of the axle here fits inside the hub of the rim, therefore making it hub centric, so that way all the weight isn't on the lug studs. Back on now, same process as I showed you before with the castle nut, the washer, and a lug nut. Alright, my guy, so we'll grab this one and run those studs in on that one too. And we'll go play fetch too. Right? Okay, so you can also hammer these things in if you want to do it that way. So I'll show you how that's done in case you want to do it that way. All quick and easy. Good, now I'm just giving them good measure now. Alright, they're good. Now we can take this axle and fit it into our wheel. Voila. We got a match, boys. And it's all the way down. Now we just got to put them back in the car, or truck rather. Alright guys, so also wanted to show you here on the axle something Bill showed me. You can see kind of where the axle started. Let's see if I can get better lighting. You can see where the axle started getting a little rough from age. I mean, you can see it, right? I mean, it's clear as day, the mark, right, all the way around where the bearing was riding. So instead of just replacing the bearings, Bill said we should get an axle repair bearing kit, which I got right here from O'Reilly's. It is a precision part, and it is part number RP6408, but it gives the bearing a new place to ride. You see it comes like pre-greased in there. Has a seal on it, has an outer rubber seal on it, and basically what that's going to do is give your bearing a different surface to ride on instead of the axle. See there? So if your axle has any kind of pitting in it or anything like that, you can just get one of these kits instead of the bearing and seal separately, and you can put this on. Probably tighten that as much as you can get it, I would imagine. Then I'll put your hand back here. And there you go. Bearing out. Seal out. I don't know if you guys will be able to see in there, but I'll try to make it where you can see in there. It's pretty damn dirty, to be honest with you. You guys probably can't see in there, but that's all dirt and rust on the bottom and rust on the top. So I'll have to get in there and clean that out with a rag real good. Put a rag on there and see if I can get some of the chunks out. Yeah, that rear end has been sitting so long that it started to get crusty. Okay, bearing number 2. Let's see if we can get this one out, huh? There we go. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. I'm loving it. Was over helping me install the new bearing, so you can see just putting grease on there. You want a socket that size?
No.
Oh, okay.
It'll walk in.
All right.
It just takes a minute because they make them tight.
Oh yeah.
Trick is to hit the outside edge a little bit at a little bit of an angle instead of straight on.
Yeah, so you don't hit the seal, right?
Yep. Should be it.
That's it.
What do we have on the back cover? So it can come off. Now the cool part about these is they put grease in here, and you got an inside seal with a spring on it, and you got your outside seal, and it's spring loaded. It's got a spring in here too. So this whole cavity right here, since that seal is gonna seal off the gear loop from getting in here, instead of just running with the grease they give you, we're going to fill this cavity up.
With grease.
Oh, we're going to fill it. Yeah, we're going to fill it up.
So it sticks out about a 1/4 inch.
Yep.
Okay.
And that way, you just got more protection, more grease for the wear.
Right on.
Yep, that's the way to do it. Right there. It's easy to do. It's fast.
Yeah. So now Bill's gonna tack weld the lug studs in, throwing some aluminum on so it doesn't mess up the surface where the bearings go. And that's just gonna make sure that these things don't spin, because like I said before, Bill checked it out online and did some research, and even though these lug studs fit tight and are the closest we can get, they're really not exactly right or perfect. So
he's a little worried they might, you know, spin and we won't get the lug nut off one day. So little extra insurance, throw a tack weld on each one of them. Don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, the go-go boots.
Yeah, Joe was telling us about that, how it would drive him crazy, and he's like, you got to get rid of the wife thing going on. And I was like, what? I was like, ah.
Sweet spot.
Yep. All right, so we got the C-clip right here for the axles. One part is flat, and you'll see the little shined off surface right here. That goes and faces out towards the wheel studs. The rounded part faces in towards the centered pin. So we're going to go ahead and install them right now.
Okay.
So we need this one right here on the passenger side, pushed in just a hair more.
Push it in a little bit.
Yep.
All right.
It just started to catch it. Yep. Okay, hang on. Now pull it out real slow. Pull it out. Got it?
I think so.
Yep, you should have it.
Is it
Okay,
good?
whoa, easy now. I'm under here. Okay. Yep, it's in.
Okay.
So we got that one in, and then we got the other one is back over here. Oh, I got it.
Boom, boom, boom.
Now we're going to the other side to put the C-clip in. So that one's got to get pushed in a little bit.
All right, I'll go over there.
This one, yep, try not to spin it too much, and it is a push in a little bit.
All right.
Yep. All right, now pull out.
All right.
Easy.
All right.
Got it?
I think so. All right.
Yep. Make sure you get a big screwdriver or something in there to kind of prime apart, prime back to the outside. And then make sure you're lined up for your pin, which is
Right here.
yep. And make sure your holes for the pin are running side to side. This hole right here for your center pin, it's got to run left, got to run right, so you don't get it twisted up in there wrong. And then feed it on through, nice and easy. And it's time for the screw pin. All right, so here's your center pin. That's going to hold in and hold this pin to the differential case housing.
All right.
And she's in. Screw it in nice and easy. Make sure the threads start by finger. And the best way to do it is with a wobbly head extension, short socket, 5/16.
And what tooth?
The 6 tooth is better, but or the 6 point is better than a 12 point. But use what you got. Make sure that you're sunk all the way on the head of the screw, so that when you put it in there and you crank it down, it doesn't take an excessive amount. They do have a torque for this, but put it in there and put it in there tight. Don't kill it. Don't break it off.
And what about Loctite?
Don't really need it. These things aren't fighting a lot of loosening action to come out. You could, but I don't like to put it on there because it can get stuck in the pin, and as you go to loosen the screw, you can't get a good feel on it, and sometimes you'll round off the heads of the hex bolt, and then you're back to square one where you've got more to do instead of doing what you got to do.
Gotcha.
That's it, man. That takes care of it right there, where it's ready to clean up, put the differential cover back on it, fill her up with fluid, And if you've got a posi, make sure to put the posi additive into it unless you use the high-poid gear oil, where it requires no posi additive, which is for the cone style lockers instead of the clutch style lockers. This one doesn't. It's an open rear end, so it's straight gear lube and it's back in shape.
Sweet. Slide this baby into place. And throw some bolts in. Alright, so I let the silicone sit for a couple of days. Now, not that you have to let it sit for that long, but I did because I had other stuff to do. And now I'm going to put the gear oil in using 75 140. So cheap stuff, Master Pro, but it'll work good for this truck. So, all right, thanks for watching. Me and Pesci will see you on the next one, and that's how you put a custom wheel on a Dodge D100.